zeros. But yeah, we can
Uh,
just bullshit though. Still, go ahead, go
Shout out
ahead.
to Impact Machine, man. I ordered an optic plate from them with the extra screw set and shit, and I gave them my address one digit off on accident. I guess I wasn't paying attention when I was typing it in. There's four digits in my house number, and I gave them three out of the right ones, and one was one off what it should have been, and so it got returned to sender. So I emailed them. I tried to call them, couldn't get through to nobody. They're a small shop. But then they emailed me, said, "Hey, we got your package returned to us." Blah blah blah. Tried to respond to that email. I got a message back said you can't respond to this email. I'm like, what the fuck? So I DM'd them on Instagram just now when I got home, and they got right back to me. They said, "What's your order number?" I told him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got it sitting on my desk right now. I'll get it shipped out Monday. I'll give you new tracking, all that." So took care of me right away as soon as I finally got through to them, and yeah, they're gonna fix it. My fuck up. They're
Yeah,
gonna fix it. So,
you ain't got to tell me what you got done. What you send in there?
I just ordered an optic plate from Impact Machine.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and
For what? For what? The new Prodigy?
nah, for something else I haven't shown nobody except you and
Oh
Shady Arm.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
so I'm probably not even gonna keep it, but I'm gonna do it up real quick, make it look cool, and then we'll see. But if I can
Get it
afford to
out
keep it,
there.
I will. Lately, shit's been going as fast as it comes. So
Who joined us? Whoever joined us, man, right at the bottom, they left. When you join, right at the bottom, and it's cool though. We can get to talking because I'm gonna make this actually it's a live, but I'm gonna make it a real freaking video. Uh, YouTube, man, we following all guidelines that you know, man. You know, we follow the law.
always,
We follow
always,
all the YouTube rules and guidelines, man. And YouTube
yeah,
rules and guidelines, they always say you can't come in too heavy for the first
yeah,
few minutes. You know, so excuse we was talking, it might have sounded like some other words, but we was saying we was talking French, and that
yeah.
was that, man. You know, YouTube, don't get mad at us, man.
We
Uh,
follow all guidelines always.
so
I had to, I had to
I
put the
go ahead.
I had to
Oh
represent,
yeah,
man.
hell yeah.
Had to put the Warriors Garden shirt
I
on
should
for you.
I, I should have worn one of mine, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate.
Yes,
I
sir.
actually got I have to so I got that one. I got one color that's not out yet that I am going to just put on there, but I'm in the process of just buying as many, not as many colors, but just what I see, what I can see from the picture, what looks good, and then get it in person before I just kind of throw it out there for the people and stuff like that, and have them getting something like, oh, this is too green or something. I can't see the lettering proper. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just picking up a few of them shirts and coming out with some different designs if I can, man. If you in here, man, I see it's one person here. It might be Rome. I know Rome just asked. Right down at the bottom, man, so we can know you here, know who you are, man. We can communicate with y'all, man. Things like that. All right, we got a couple people in here, man. They say four, but it's really 4,000, y'all. I want y'all to know it's 4,000 people in here, and
Yeah.
so hey, look, I did a YouTube video a few days ago, man, just about that the TDA, the Venezuelan gangs, man, coming through in multiple states, sanctuary states, and other states. The crazy thing is, I try to keep up with this type of stuff, but at the same time, it is constantly like being swept around and swept under. This has been going on for years, as we know. You know what I mean? When I seen that 22 million M's, we're gonna say M's for now until a little bit later, but 22 million M's came into the country. That's been over the course of since 2020. You know what I mean? That's
Hmm.
still a lot. So a lot of guys got settled in here, and you really didn't hear too much rowdiness or negative activity going on. But as of late, with them having just running rampant, man, just like I said, it feels like uh, just the floodgates have been open on the prisons and things like that. And I seen actually the other day, like Biden and them were trying to, or at least speaking on it, like we're sending back. We're deporting now. We're doing a mass deportation of the guys and things like that. So it seems like they're trying to respond to what the news is saying. But we all know, man, if you're smart, man, you know that they just really want they need these votes first. These people ain't going nowhere till December or till January. And they still won't get everybody. So they might send back the harshest of the harshest that they can find that are, doing things like uh, as I said, we had a lot of different things happen here, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in Colorado, period, and even close to me, just here in Colorado Springs. So, what kind of experiences have you been uh, dealing with this new additive or this new addition to our great state of, our great country of the USA, man?
Well, luckily I'm in Florida, so not too much of that has touched us here yet. South Florida, I know it happens. It's been happening since before 2020 because Haitians have been coming in and Cubans and everything else via boats. But now you got all races coming in on those boats too because they're just trying to find any way they can to get in. But where I live in Florida, we're not too affected with it yet. But let me just say, you said that you're seeing that Biden and them are saying that they're starting to deport people. They're not. They're going to tell you that because they want the votes because it's
Exactly.
almost election time. They're not sending nobody back. If they do, it's a couple people. It's not. They're still. You say 22 million. That's just a guesstimate of who we know about. There's
Hmm.
could be who knows how many that got through that we don't know about, and it's all guesswork at this point. So 22 million is a conservative guess of how many have entered this country illegally, uh, and obviously, I'm sure a good portion of them are good people that really do just want to start over, start a new life, just want to get that American dream. But there's a good portion of them that are going to take advantage of people that are going to fucking rob, rape, murder, everything else that's already happening. Sorry if it's too early in the stream to start mentioning those key words, but that's the facts,
You
man.
have double R's, man. He said the double R's. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
it's
But
it's
for a
happening
fact, though, you
everywhere.
right.
Like you said, it's happening in Democrat-run country or states and cities more than anything because those are sanctuary places, and it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, man. It's so they tell you, yeah, we're deporting them. We're starting to send them back. Like Kamala has an ad about how tough she's been on border security. And in that ad, she uses images of Trump's border wall that she bashed the entire time when Trump was in office and when she was trying to get office. But now she wants to use Trump's border wall in her ad to say, "Oh, we're tough on border. Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I seen something that showed on the same topic but different. It's just said that being that they're so lenient on the people that are able to come in from down below up top, other countries have been sneaking in the same way. Yeah, I seen
Mhm.
somebody put, "Am I South Korean?" But that brought the point up in my head. I seen that they were having the Koreans and different type of people coming in through that same
Yeah.
method, that same pipeline, just because
Yeah.
it has become such an easy access point to the country, man. Um,
Chinese,
and
Syrian, you name it. You got people from the Middle East. You got Chinese. You got everything coming through. Dude, months ago, this was the last number I saw was like 30,000 Chinese we've caught trying to come through just this year alone. It's
so,
not Mexicans that are coming through the Mexican border. It's very few of them. It's everybody
uh-huh,
else using
that
that same
same
pipeline.
entrance route. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, I know you said you haven't experienced too much in Florida. I recently, obviously, this has become a very hot topic over YouTube and just, if you look at like Fox and things like that, it's been spoken about and on the agenda with those type of news stations. But when you talk about, I heard them talk about Florida the other day, and they mentioned how the Venezuelans had taken over two neighborhood blocks. I don't know exactly in what section of Florida, but that is basically what happened in Aurora with us as well. They had taken over different complexes, and it really started off with their own type of people, obviously uh, putting on those same fear tactics that they would do in their country. Uh, giving them that same scare so that they wouldn't go to law enforcement and things like that. But it has definitely already spilled over into other communities. Uh, what's going on, y'all? It spilled over into other communities. Like the stream, y'all. Share the stream, like the stream. But it has spilled over into other communities. I've seen reports on in Chicago on the trains, man. They've been having hatchet fights with norm with I want I was gonna say
Yep.
normal people. They people too, but with citizens
With
beating up
American
cops and
citizens. Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And just doing the things that they like. If these are the criminals that they have let out of jail, they are essentially been pardoned from their country or been freed, been released on their crimes. And it's not like they're back in their community and they have the same people that know that they did these things to keep a lookout on them. They're
Yeah.
actually coming
No.
here
They're
and performing
ghosts in
those
this.
same acts.
Yeah, they're ghosts in this country. They're chameleons. Nobody
Mhm.
would know who they are or what they've done. Period. You know, there's been so many articles I've read and seen where people that were arrested for crimes here a couple of years ago and deported were let right back in through that open
Uh-huh.
border in the last year or two. Or people, like you said, who are in prison in Venezuela, they literally emptied their prison and dumped them into America, and we gave them incentives to do so. We knew about it. Homeland Security knows about that. We want them to do that. It's insane. Obviously, you and I don't want that, but our government does. Uh, yeah, it's and for people of Chicago to be fed up. I mean, Chicago has been a war zone for years. Chicago is one of the worst cities in America with the worst crime, the highest murder rate, all that. And for those people to be fed up and say this is too much crime all of a sudden, this is bad, that tells you everything, man. Like they're used to that shit, and they're saying, "Get these fucking people out of here. We don't want them." Like,
Discussing to even those people in that community that already, are under the thumb of violence, but for like knife wielding and just the assaults and the attacks on the ladies, man, the R's, the beatings and the R's that they doing to those type of people, uh, even in those negative environments where people are like gang ridden, they still don't like people that diddle with kids and take their sisters and their nieces and daughters and things like that, And when you think about those type of countries, those are some of the high volume crimes and things that I think about. On top of the and the murders and stuff. We don't approve murder on YouTube though, man. YouTube don't like murder, but the stuff that they doing, man, the M's, the R's, and things like that, we kind of are not used to um, it being such a normalized activity in a certain community of people.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
all.
we're known for having a gun culture here in America, but it also keeps us as a more peaceful America overall. And those other countries that aren't into guns like we're into, that's because they gave up their guns. And if they could take it back, they would. They would be into guns if they could. They would all own guns if they could, because every country that's given up their guns has been dominated by their government. They live in poverty.
Exactly.
There's been
Australia,
mass
yeah.
mass M ever since. Venezuela is a great example of that. Venezuela gave up their guns, became a communist country, and look at where they are now. There's
Hmm.
a reason why they all want to come here because their country is trash.
And if you look at what you just even said, a lot of those countries that don't uh, have something like the Second Amendment and things like that available for their citizens, they're still. It's not like nothing is not happening there. Those are the
Yeah,
countries where they do
they just
have
have
all those knife
they just
combats.
have
You talk
knife
about
attacks
Europe, they
every day.
sticking people in the chest all day over there.
You look at
So they
you
might
look
not
at
have the
the UK.
firearms, but they're
You look
still
at the
doing something
UK.
that's a little more intimate.
Right, exactly. You look at the
Yeah.
UK and they have stabbings all the time. Their gangs fight with knives. They stab each other all the time. Like it's
Uh-huh.
people are going to find a way to hurt each other. Evil people are going to find a way to hurt people, kill people, one way or another. With spoons if they have to, with a shovel, it doesn't matter, man. Like it's but an armed society is a more peaceful society at the end of the day. That's just a fact. When everybody's armed and you know everybody has the same capacity, the same willingness, and the same ability to do what you could do to them, you're probably not gonna, f around and f out.
Hey, and that is, in all honesty, the only way being armed in the capacity that citizens of the United States are is actually the best way for everybody, in my opinion. Because even if we say, well, like what we just said, those other countries have knife fights and things like that. Someone that still puts somebody at a disadvantage. Two people with a knife are not the same people. And I'm not necessarily going to say two people with firearms are the same people, but if you understand how to pull the trigger and aim, a 90-pound woman still can overpower a 250-pound man with that. When it comes to knife on knife attacks, it still has a lot to do with physical ability. As far as like uh, being able to maneuver with that blade and maybe even I don't know, I thought something happened. But yeah, be able to maneuver with that blade and being able to kind of like when you get close up, you're gonna do more than just strike with that knife. You're gonna punch, you're gonna grab, things like that. And so I feel like even two people with a knife, there's still disadvantages. Two people with a firearm, that's equal. You don't, like I said, as long as you know how to aim. Like I said, there's definitely still some variations, but it's still more equal than any other type of defensive combat that you may have to have against somebody who overpowers you, overweighs you by 50 to 100 pounds. You, I wouldn't recommend uh, going into a hand-to-hand combat with somebody like that. And like I said, there's definitely a exception, but just
Yeah.
for your mom, your grandma, a grandmother being attacked by somebody with a knife, and she's expected to only have a knife. What is she really going to do? Versus a grandma who
Pistol.
has a firearm and you have a firearm, and she's able to uh, get her firearm out before you, or even during a scuffle, like I said, and then she's able to defend herself. And now the criminal is so-called the victim now, or the less fortunate. I feel like that it gives everybody it equalizes people in a sense. Like I said, it's always going to be variations to everything, but it equalizes people. Yeah, bro, down at the bottom. That's wrong. Yeah, the modern day sword, bro. Like you just
Yeah.
said.
Mile high MVP hitting. Yeah. Modern day sword for sure. Yeah. It's if you're a criminal with a gun and you're looking for a victim, you're not going to pick another guy that you know has a gun at the end of the day. So if everybody's got a
Exactly.
gun, there's going to be a lot less victims. There's going to be a lot less people preying on people. An armed
Exactly.
society is a more peaceful society. And not only that, the countries that, like I already touched on, gave up their guns, don't have guns, they get, they're subject to the worst lockdowns. Look at how Australia was treated during the
Yeah.
vid. Look at the UK right now. They're locking people up for 22 months in jail, 20 months in jail for speaking out online about their country being invaded by illegals. They're getting jail time for that. That's insane. That doesn't happen in an armed society. People will stand up for themselves, and we'll have what we had in 1776 if they tried that here.
Exactly. Mile high, hit that like button if you can, bro. Hit that like button for us, brother.
Pistol is the modern day sword. That's so far that's the best comment.
It definitely is, man. Hey, so uh here where I'm at right now, I mentioned it in my video, man. We had three stores broken into, and uh, they had them on camera. They knew that they were from of Latin descent, and this was like last month. So they were thinking that they were taking these things and going back down to the borderland area, or to
Yeah,
AZ.
sending them back.
Yeah, yeah. So the position, the thought now is just like they actually are just using them within the city.
Yeah, they're
using them
arming
to
their
take
people
over,
here.
mhm,
Yeah.
to take
And look
over
at what
those
they're doing to
different
those
areas,
apartment
man.
complexes. Those apartment complexes, in Colorado. Now they all have the guns that they stole from the gun stores, and they've
Uh-huh.
taken over the complexes. Like
Uh,
he just made another good point there. Mile High MVP.
Go ahead and talk
School
about it.
with armed teachers is going to make criminals think 10 times harder. So here in Florida, every single school has an armed police officer on duty every single day, and that's how everywhere should be. Everybody's safer. I've worked in the school system, and every school I went to, sure enough, there's an officer there. Fuck around and find out. That's how it should be. I
So
don't
here
know
in
if
Colorado,
arming the teachers is the right way, but have at least an armed police officer for sure.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I used to live in Nebraska, so even when I was in school, they had security guards and real police
Yeah,
there. They had their own little station and stuff like that. So
I
they
remember when I
had,
got to high school, we had like a resident police officer that was like the dare officer or whatever that was there all the time. But this is
yeah.
like I was working in pre-Ks and like little kid schools. Every single school we went to had a police officer that stays there every day. He has their own office. They're there every day. That's their job.
On our topic, but off our topic on Mile High MVP. Even with the latest event that happened down there in Georgia, I always tell my wife, man, it's strange how these things always happen around this certain time. It never happens. You never just see it like, you're not going to see this at just some random time. It's always leading up
Yeah,
to
it's
these
always to
electoral
push an
votes,
agenda.
and Kay is already utilizing it for
Yep,
her to her advantage. And I
Biden
don't
and
know
Kamala
who
already
would want
came
to
out.
vote for her, man. She out here, they got she having events and rallies with chicks twerking and stuff like that. I mean and I don't see nothing wrong with none of that stuff, but that ain't a representation of uh, it shouldn't be a representation of anything political. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be trying to
Right.
draw people in off
Well,
of
when you
uh,
have to
hip
get
hop and things.
Meg Thee Stallion and a bunch of twerkers on stage to get people to even show up to even tune in, then that says enough in itself right there. I
When you
agree
had to
with that.
pay M's,
Mile High MVP just said teachers should have a choice to carry. I completely agree. If they want to carry, let them carry. The only issue I have with that is that sometimes teachers aren't good people either. We found, but here in Florida, they set up stings all the time and they bust people all the time, pedophiles, sex offenders, all that. And a lot of times it's people that work at Disney, it's teachers, it's people that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So
it's all the
should
Disney.
they be allowed to carry? Yes, but at the same time, not all teachers are going to be responsible, good people. Some of them have ill intent. It's hard to gauge.
Yeah, that's true facts, man. That's true facts. And like, and with the back to the TDA with them, they already acting like this right now, and they have at the moment they've been getting a hell of a lot of assistance from the government, man. We've been paying for their housing.
Yeah, thousands of dollars on a debit card, thousands in
They,
food
I,
stamps.
they
You see the one video
got
of
enough. They got enough
the
money.
older black gentleman that was a veteran that gets $23 a month in food stamps, and then they show the receipt of the illegal that left their receipt behind at the grocery store, and they had 15,000 or 13,000 in food stamps.
Yeah,
So a
yeah,
man who
yeah,
served
yeah.
our country
They getting
doesn't get shit. He gets $23 a month. You could buy a Happy Meal. You buy one meal, maybe with that. And these people get 15, 13,000 a month to run rampant, do whatever, attack each other with machetes,
in
do whatever the
cash
fuck
and
they
in
want.
stamps. Yeah, they getting it both.
While they get free room
Cash
and
and in
board.
stamps.
What bills do they have? They get free room and board. They get cell phones. They get all this money. The typical American, you and I, are struggling worse than ever because they're raping us for tax dollars, and then they take our tax dollars, and that's what they use
To
for it.
give.
That's crazy.
To give to proxy
To people
wars
who have
and
done
things
nothing
like
to
that.
earn it, and people who don't deserve it, and people who need to
Uh-huh.
be taken care of before our own people. Yeah, it's wild.
So even on the with the couple of I got an update on with the different complexes that they took over and things like that. And it doesn't take away from the veracity or the craziness of what they've done, but those were they. So in Denver, they have a lot of slumlords and stuff like that, and so these were already buildings that kind of were
Run
the
down,
landlord kind of just
dilapidated.
let them be. Yeah, the landlord wasn't collecting rent; he just let it die off, and so they still found it to be. They still took it up upon themselves to go into those areas, and they were collecting rent from the people. So, granted, the people that were living there shouldn't have been living there, but they still uh, went in there like tyrants, like freaking a Mile High MVP. Man, they went in there like Nino from the Carter and took over everybody's apartment, man, and man gave them a choice: pay rent or get out, man.
Yeah.
So
Now, is
they've
that
been
the
having a
case?
lot of
Is that
gunfights.
is that a true story with both those complexes that they've taken over? Are those both like people
So,
that live there weren't paying their rent, shouldn't have been living there, or is that what the media is telling you? That way, you don't think it's as bad of a thing as it is.
well, it wasn't the media. So on YouTube, man, they have a lot of people that have ventured out to this area, man. A lot of like real hardcore local street journalists that are just
Yeah,
like normal
real
people.
journalists. What
Yeah,
journalists used to be. Yeah.
that go down there and they actually are, you know, getting in the mix.
Investigating. Yeah.
Yeah, so
What
the
journalists are
pe-
supposed to do, what they used to do. Yeah.
So the people were basically saying that. So the people in a building that was next to that building, there was like nobody wasn't supposed to even be living in this building, but a lot of like people are hard up on hard times, families that don't have anything, and just different. So I'm sure you guys, like you said, you have this in Florida. So in sections in Denver, they have places where it's just rampant with all sorts of immigrants, Somalis, things like that, that just really don't have, you know, a penny or a dime, just to say the least. Um, and so it's still not cool that they went in there and took advantage of those people. I don't think any lighter of that situation, but
Yeah.
I was just, it was always a mystery to me of how they were able to. I'm like, if like where I live in a condo apartment type of style stuff. I'm like, how would they take over the whole management and things like that. So that just was
Pretty simple.
putting it to light of how that management got taken over.
When the police refuse to do anything, because now that's the video that's circulating, is the cops show up to arrest this dude, and they're literally telling them, they're like, no, we can't do anything here. This is a sanctuary city. Doesn't matter what he did, we can't arrest him. When the cops refuse to do what they're supposed to do because they're told not to, whatever, then it's pretty easy to take over anything you want. Before you know it, it's going to spread to the complexes where you live, places like where you live. It's going to spread everywhere eventually at this rate if it keeps going. Because if our law enforcement isn't allowed to do their job, if they're told not to do what they're supposed to do to enforce law, then it's what do we have? If we don't have law and order, what do we have? We have a lawless society,
Exactly.
we have mayhem, and we're gonna have all the M's and the R's and all those bad words that you aren't supposed to say on
And
YouTube, but are actual reality here in
the
America.
reality, it's reality. They also mentioned how uh like there was like, so if this was a local gang, somebody who already is established in this city, they already came in here and put
You would
cases on
think,
everybody. Um, these foreign gangs, the trend, they've been recruiting other gangs, and they've also just been warring with other gangs as well in those areas.
yeah,
Exactly. If the
Mile
citizens
High is
defend themselves,
absolutely
they
right.
go to jail.
Yep.
Especially where you at, man. Really, not where I'm at. You and so as I talked to JP about this before, and I said like how Denver is kind of like a. I live around here, so I don't look at it as that. But if you hear people talk about cities, they're going to talk about like L.A., New York, Chicago, Denver, Houston, Miami, type of stuff like that. So these are the major cities within America. So even though those laws, like I know where you at. I know you in Aurora, or are you in Aurora, Mile High, or are you in Denver? Give you a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna take him a second to respond to that, but yeah, well, all those cities you just mentioned are also Democrat-run cities. So
They're those sanctuary cities and
go
states.
go
Exactly.
figure. They're all the worst crime, worst place to live right now. People are moving out in droves because they're run by liberal Democrats that are running this country.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you, before 2020, I didn't consider myself left, right. I didn't pay attention to any of it. I didn't care. I was forced to care. I was forced to start talking about this shit all the time because if I don't, nobody does. Then it's just going to keep going the way that it's going. The reason why we're at where we are in this country is because people don't speak up. People don't have these conversations anymore. People sit idly by and let this shit happen, and we get taken for our tax dollars. It gets sent to these people that shouldn't be here, and we get overrun. And that's the plan. That's where they're going with this.
I think a lot of people don't like to speak up on those things because uh,
Because they
we in the
don't want to
land
be
of the free.
censored like I am. They don't want to be censored, shadow banned. They don't want people to look at them funny. Their family and friends that lean left, that clearly don't pay attention. They just vote blue no matter who. Stuff like that. They don't want to be
Yeah, I think
judged.
that
They don't
that
want to be shadow banned.
just the judge. Yes, the judge. I think that's a big part of it. It's the fact that what you just said. They don't want to lose what they have, and we are in the land of the free. But like I said, with taxes, you live in a place you might own your house, but the government can find a reason to take your house. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't want to speak freely or how they may feel is because they might have a lot to lose. I seen a woman said that before. She was like, men don't speak up and be men how they're supposed to be because they're afraid of what not of maybe what can happen to them, like but
Yeah.
what they'll lose.
Here,
Their money, their status,
here's the thing.
their positions in life. And that means a lot to really all of us at some point,
Here's the
you
thing,
know.
though. In the long run, you're really going to lose it all if you don't speak up. If you don't do something. If we as a people don't do something, you're going to lose it all anyway. So you might as well go out with a fight. And you might as well do what's right. Because if not, then what are you doing? You're just going to sit here and be comfortable until we're overtaken, until this country crumbles, until we become a communist dictatorship. Because that's where we're headed.
Excuse me. That is what 90% of people gonna do. 98% of people are gonna do.
Yeah, that's how they feel. Most
You
people
live
keep
in
their mouth
downtown
shut.
Denver? Go ahead. You live in downtown Denver, Inglewood. Does any of this stuff have has it reached Inglewood? I know Inglewood is kind of uh, on the outskirt. It's like Centennial area, correct or am I wrong?
I mean, he was telling us not too long ago, wasn't he telling us that the gun store right across from him just got robbed?
From him?
I'm pretty sure it was him that was saying it
It was
in a
my
group
sponsor
chat.
got took down. Yeah, they had Spark. You know, Spark. You know, I used to brag about how they got all the staccatos and all that stuff, the atlases and things. I think
Yeah.
they managed to keep them because they smart enough to lock all that up. But they got so many platforms, they're not
So
gonna lock everything up. So,
that gun shop that
uh
you like, that gun shop you talk about that has everything all the time, they got robbed too now.
huh, they got they took they took typical things that they would take. They took anything. I guess they took the stuff they could switch out. They took all the Glocks. They left all the Sigs. They took they left out they didn't get any 2011s because they put them in a real safe. But they
Yeah.
got a whole ton of AKs and Glocks, basically,
See,
and
50
a lot
feet
of
away from
ammo.
his house. 50 feet away from his house, gun store got broken into. So it's happening there too. It's gonna keep happening everywhere. It's gonna get closer and closer to home. Unfortunately, it's gonna get
And
worse before it gets worse.
they doing it in like a quick, swift way too. Like all three of the ones here. Tell me, did this happen with you, Mile High? All three of them here. They took a car and they just ran it straight through the glass. They just crashed. They crashed the building out. So they tore the building up,
Yeah,
and then they just got
smash
whatever
and,
they got
smash and grab.
and got in a different car.
The oldest trick in
Yeah,
the book: smash and grab. Quick, fast, out of there.
that's
Quick,
what they did
violent
to a
closure.
jewelry store too. They did a jewelry store like that as well in Denver. So
Yeah, it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna get worse before it gets worse. Unfortunately, and
yeah,
not to keep beating a dead horse and not to get too political, but you know, uh, they're gonna do everything they can to not let Trump in. They can't afford to let him in, but if he doesn't get in, we're screwed. So
yeah, man. What else they want from the man, man? he got felony cases that he beaten up. He
They
got
tried to
shot.
kill him. They tried to have him
Yeah, he
murdered
got
on live
shot.
TV.
You know,
They
so
tried to lock him up, make him a felon. When that didn't work, they tried to have him beheaded on live TV. When
hmm
the whole system, when everybody's on one side against this man, that should tell you everything you need to know that that is the man you want for the job. That is the man who you should trust.
hey, it's just like stocks, man. When everybody's buying, you sell. You know, when everybody holding, you get out of
There
there,
you go.
bro. It's the
Captain
same
Dumb
thing.
Fuck.
So
I mean, the name, oh, Fum Duck. Well, I read it the right way. But I mean,
yeah, bro.
the message
Trump,
is good.
you
I'm
got
not
it.
sure if people are going to read the name and take you for anything, give you any credit, but the message is right there. Trump 2024.
Exactly, man. But hey, y'all. So I just wanted to touch on those topics. It seemed like we're all going through a tragedy. You know, my video was saying that is it a Colorado problem or us problem? We already stated here today, man. It's a everybody's problem.
Yeah,
It just may not have you may not feel it just yet. It's just like
exactly.
the any other situation, man, where you see it happening and you kind of like what he said, you kind of shun it off, and eventually it's gonna catch up to everybody. You're gonna end up feeling it
It's
one
going to
way or the
continue
other,
to
out
spread.
of your
It'll end up,
pockets, or they're gonna come to
yep,
your house and tear up
it'll end
something.
up closer to home. It's going to continue to spread, continue to get worse.
Exactly. So, hey, my boy JP, man, we're gonna go to a different topic real fast. I got a little bit more time here, man. I gotta go tend to the family. But my boy JP, man, he has been competing lately, man. You know, this is a two-way channel here, man. And this is one of the first times we've been touching on any type of uh, political type of content or topics, man. So don't think that this is what I do all the time, man. Go check out the page we shoot. Check out JP's page, man. Target Acquired, man. He shoots. And he's been competing lately, man. Something that I've been needing to get myself into. I just haven't. I've been being lazy. I can go to matches and things like that, but it would force me to have to get up at a certain time and do things at a certain time. I work third shift, so going to a 9 o'clock match is kind of like hell for me, especially if I want to perform properly. I don't think that that'd be the best idea. So I might try out some Wednesday matches that they have later in the night. So like I said, I'll just see what I can pull off, man, and see what I can get going on. What's going on Point 2A, man? You
Yeah, I
so
mean,
go ahead,
I
JP.
I talked about and thought about getting into USPSA shooting for a long time before I did. I think everybody does, So everybody says they want to do it. Very few do commit to it, but most people talk about it for a while and they put it off and put it off. And there's a variety of reasons for that. One big reason is it's intimidating. You don't want to show up and suck in front of everyone and
You
be
don't
exposed
suck though.
And that's the thing. I mean, you think you're a shooter until you try to shoot one of these matches. And it's, very few people show up and kill it right away. It's a very few. Some people do. It does happen, but it's very, very rare. I was not one of those people. I showed up and sucked for a while. I still suck sometimes. I shot a match today and I sucked. It happens. Shot a match Tuesday, was killing it until it got shut down by the Lightning. But it's just how it goes. I'm still very new to this. I've only been doing it 2 months. So the consistency in stage planning and in being accurate on the move and all that. It's not there yet, but the more you shoot, the more it will come. But a lot of people put it off, talk about it, talk about it. But I can't tell you how many people told me, "Yeah, I'm going to get into it," or "You made me want to do it. I'm going to do it for sure. I'm going to buy this gun, or I bought this gun just to do it," and then you never see them do it. Just do it. Just try it. Even if you only try it once and you say, "Yeah, that was fun. At least I can say I tried it." It's not really for me, or I don't have time or whatever. But try it once, see where you're at. It's only going to make you a better shooter. Period. It's going to make you one match will teach you so much about yourself and about where you're lacking and what you need to improve and what you're good at. But one match will teach you so much, and I think more people need to just jump in and try it and stop pussyfooting around, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, so
Don't talk about it, be about it.
I did some mock, like some mock stuff where you kind of, so at a different shooting range, they allow you to do like a mock setup. At first, I thought that they were going to be scored and graded. So I have a practice score account. I've had that for like 2 years. And so I was doing some mock. which basically, obviously, you can understand what a mock is. Basically, just we're running type. We were running USPSA courses, but it wasn't counted anything like
Yeah.
that. Um, and for me, I feel like my shooting is above, definitely above average. I feel like I feel like what I would have to do. My movement is decent, so for me, I feel like I would definitely have to buckle down on movement and on stage planning. I know that that is a very important thing, stage planning and things like that. And
Those are the two biggest things, and the two biggest things that people know nothing about. And like, you could be athletic, you could have good movement, you could be fast, whatever it is, doesn't mean you're going to be good at USPSA because it's just a different animal. You need to learn. You need to learn it every bit about it to actually be good at it. And like I said, some people show up and they do well because they're accurate. Being accurate will get you very far, but you'll never get past the middle of the pack in the rankings. You may
yeah, yeah,
finish,
yeah.
mid 20s, but there's going to be 20 something, 30 something people that are always going to beat you because they have the accuracy and the speed and the footwork and the stage planning.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there's a lot that goes into it, and the only way that you can figure that out and get better at that is to do it.
And so at the time that I was even looking at that stuff, they didn't even have a section for. I know you run a lot of 2011 platforms. They didn't even have really a section for that. You were going to be
Yeah,
forced to be with the crackheads, the big dogs, somebody with a $7,000 platform that was going to definitely dog you around, even if you
open
came
stage.
with some 2011 style platform. So I was hesitant for those reasons as well. But like I said, I don't want to sound just like those guys. But even seeing my boy Chris just try to get out there and do some things, and I know that we see him. He's came a long way in my opinion, but he has a lot of training to go just with even just different stuff. I don't want to put him on spot. He's a good guy, and
Yeah, no,
he's working
he's
on his
looking
stuff.
good.
But I'm
He's
basically
looking
saying,
good. He's doing the right things, to get started and to be on the right track. If he shoots an actual match, he'll figure things out real quick, what he's still lacking and what he needs to improve on. But no, he looks great for sure. He's not
exactly.
he's not shooting USPSA level, but that's just because he hasn't tried a match yet. That's all. He's got all the tools to do it. He just has to go do it, and that's when you learn what you need to improve on, what you're lacking, and what you need to do to get to that next level to be decent at actual matches. But
So
he's
when you're
doing
running these,
something
go ahead.
similar in his training, which is awesome. They have that range down there that his buddy Juan, all those guys, they all pretty much live there because Juan works there and whatnot. So they get kind of free reign at it, so they can train that style. So more power to them. I hope, hopefully, they show up to the concealed carry match at the end of this month, and then get a small taste of what an actual match is like. Because even the concealed carry, it's not technically USPSA, but it's very similar. It's Florida Concealed Carry League. Very similar to USPSA, it's just scored a little bit differently, a little more lenient. The stages aren't as long and as uh, intricate, but it's a very, very good stage to get your feet wet and get your first taste of actual competition where you're actually being scored. There's actual rules. You can get DQ'd, all that. Because I'll tell you this, I've shared his stuff on my story a couple times, and I've had people message me and be like, dude, he just
Yeah,
broke one.
you kind of freeze up. But a lot of people uh, focus. I guess even for myself, before I even thought about getting involved in that, I kind of have the thought process of train how you live, and for me, I was more interested in doing those concealed carry uh, type of matches than on the waistband in a holster because I'm like, I'm not ever going to carry duty and this and that. But
Yeah.
I've grown to get past that and just be like, it's a sport that I definitely want to engage in. So I want to be involved in the section that is going to be more, uh, have more competition available in there,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, two things. One is you could do IDPA, and IDPA is you have to conceal your gun, whether you do it off the hip and you wear a vest or a jacket over it, or you just run from concealed carry, run an appendix carry. And that's scored a little bit differently. So, I mean, IDPA would be a great option for that. Or there's guys that just run concealed carry in USPSA. I shot with the guy that goes by Tactical Santi on Instagram. Shot with him today. Guy's fucking awesome. He's become a pretty a good friend of mine. as far as matches go. I only really see him at matches, but love to shoot with the guy. He's cool as hell. But he only runs from concealed. Thing with Buck Lawler. He's a big name on Instagram too. Shot with him a few times now. He only runs from concealed carry in USPSA against everybody who's shooting off the hip, and they're faster than most guys, and they come in higher than most guys. They kill it. So you can run from concealed against all the guys who are shooting off the hip, and you could do better or as good very easily. But you could also do IDPA where it's kind of you have to be concealed, and that'll be more tailored to you wanting to shoot from concealment. What I do is I shoot Tuesday nights off the hip if I show up Tuesday. And if I show up to the Friday night match, I shoot from concealed carry. That way, I stay crispy with the concealed carry. I'm still getting the reps in with the carry that actually matters, what I actually carry every day, and I still get to have fun and compete.
So when I did look up in the matches that were around here, I still get emails on it. They go straight to my Warriors Garden email, and here we typically only really have, Sameless Shield. We typically only have outdoor matches. What do you prefer, man? Those outdoor runs, or
Outdoor,
do you
bro.
like to be
Outdoor
on the
all day.
floor? Yeah,
Outdoor all day. Indoor ranges suck. Indoor ranges are
yeah, I
terrible,
imagine
bro.
it's slippery as
The
shit.
concussiveness is so fucking indoor ranges are terrible. If you got to take what you can get, and if you got to shoot indoor, you got to shoot indoor. But if I have the choice, I'm going outdoor every time. Every time. Not only that, you get more room to move. So it's you get a wide open stage where you can move, and you're not confined to a small space. I will take outdoor all day, every day over anything indoor, whether it's just a range trip or whether it's a match, doesn't matter. Outdoor all day.
Yeah, Mile High. I think that's the issue that I have. But like I said, if you want to, it's just like any other thing you get involved in, man. It always come with everything that you do or want to do comes with something that maybe you didn't expect or didn't anticipate to do. So that's what I said. I just got to buckle down. I got to get the proper holstering, the proper sidecars, the mag holders, and things like that for that.
Here's
But
the thing. So to answer his comment there, he can run a level 3 if he wants to. It's just not optimal. You got to do a couple things to get your gun out. For the longest time, up until this week, I ran a level 2. That was a button release. Couldn't get my gun out of the holster without hitting the button first. Only because I was being cheap and lazy, because that holster fits all my guns, because I run lights on all my guns. So I ran that in USPSA, but that's not ideal. Nobody does that. But you can't. It's not to say that you can't. It's just not ideal. You want to be able to draw as fast as possible, so you want something that doesn't require a level 2 or level 3 release. But you can do that. Or you can run from concealed carry. Like I said, guys do it. It doesn't. There's no rule against it.
all right, last portion of this conversation, guys. I want to ask him. It's still a little bit on the same topic. It's a lot on the same topic. But hey, before I get into that, do you run? So let's say if I'm going to do up this Prodigy, and I don't plan on running that. Okay, let's say if I get the Romulus, am I going to be allowed to run that with the comp because it's
Yeah,
integrated already? It's not added
yeah,
on. It's fixed.
yeah.
Okay.
I could run my XC. I did in one match. You can run that. You'll just be in the open division. It just changes what division you're in. That's all. So you'll be in open
Yeah, I
division
pretty
with
yeah.
the guys running 10K
With the
space difference,
demons. Yeah, with
but
the
not all
demons.
guys in that division are running those, and just because they are doesn't mean that they're going to be better than you either. Because it's
That's facts. That's facts.
my boy that goes by Roe Pews on Instagram. My boy Roe, he shot today at the match, but he's been in open since he started because he has a ported Glock. It's the only gun he's got, so he runs with that gun. So he's in the division with all those guys, and he smokes a lot of them because he's fast, he's accurate, he's got great movement, great footwork. He's still new at the point. We started almost about the same time. He started before I did, but I probably shot more matches than him at this point because I'm shooting matches every single week, multiple per week. But he's come a long way already. He's already very good. He's just at the level that I'm at, probably a little bit better than me, but he's still got some things to work out. That's why. So today he and I both kind of sucked, but he had some really good runs too. I had some decent runs, but the point being, he's in that open division, shooting against those guys with a little Glock that's ported. That's the only reason he's in that division, and he kills it. He does very well. slaughters a lot of those old dudes with the 10K space guns. So
So yeah, last topic, guys. We're coming up on the hour mark. I don't want to have the video crazy, but when you first started this journey in this USPSA, what were you running, and now what do you run now? And uh, what is your like? What do you do to prep for this match? What is something you got to do? You got to eat a certain thing, or you got to listen to some jams, or what you got to do to get ready?
all right. So when I first started, I was shooting my OA 2311 compact. As you and most people who follow me on Instagram know, that is my favorite overall do it all gun. That's my daily carry gun. That's my favorite duty gun, favorite range gun. Like that gun has it all for me. But it's a 4.25 inch, so it's snappier than some of my other guns. So I was shooting that for a while in USPSA, and my follow up shots weren't as accurate as my initial shot because it's snappy, and that's mostly me. That's a me problem. It's my grip is lacking. But I noticed all the best guys, most guys really in the sport are running 5 inch guns. And I would watch them shoot these 5 inch guns, and I started to realize why. At that time, I had never even owned a 5 inch except for like a 45 1911. The return to zero on a 5 inch gun, a nice metal heavy 5 inch gun, is almost immediate. That thing lifts up and it goes right back to where it started. Where you're shooting a shorter gun, it's got a lot more recoil. So that's when I decided to get a 5 inch gun. That's when I got the 5 inch platypus, and I've been running that ever since. I shoot better with that gun than any other gun I've ever touched. So that's what I run now. As far as getting ready for a match, dry fire is number one. At least dry fire the day of the match, but if you can, dry fire every day up until that match. When I was dry firing every week, I was starting to really see big improvements. Lately, I'll be honest, I've been slacking on the dry fires. Dry fired probably twice this week and probably 5 minutes each time. You should be doing 10, 15 minutes. So dry fire is a big part of getting ready for the match. Other than that, yeah, on the way there, I like to listen to some music that gets me hyped up. And I tell myself the whole way there, support hand, support hand, support hand, because I lack with my support hand. That's one of my biggest problems. And I also tell myself no mics, which means no misses. I'm not going to have any misses tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kill it. I didn't used to do that. It's something I started doing after I read a book that was recommended to me by our friend Fireman, is what he goes by on Instagram. Greg, he shot the Masters A2. He did very well aside from some ammo issues he had. But he put me onto a book called With Winning in Mind. And that book, the dude is an Olympic shooting champion that wrote it. And the main focus of that book is affirmations, is to tell yourself what you're going to do right, what you've already done right, because just telling yourself what you did wrong or what you usually do wrong, you're only instilling those bad behaviors and that thought that's going to keep telling yourself that you're going to do it again. If you're the type of person to say, man, I always suck at this, or man, I always fuck that up, or that's not my strength, then that's how you're going to be. You're going to keep fucking those things up. You're going to keep sucking because that's what's in your mind. You're instilling that in your mind. So ever since I made it through that book, I was already big on affirmations, but now I'm really big on it. Now on the way to the match, I'm telling myself, I'm going to kill it tonight. No mics. Since I started doing that, I'm usually good for one mic a night, as opposed to I used to have like 5, 6, 7, 8 misses a night sometimes. Big improvement since I started doing that.
Man, yeah, hey, I can't back that enough as far as the affirmation. Y'all see my notes, most of y'all who follow me on Instagram, and y'all see my notes. I write affirmation at the top of the note at all times, abundant, abundant, or uh, just manifestation, things like that. Hey, you get what you think about, bro. No matter how much you try to fight it. A lot of people
Law
don't
of
even know how to
attraction.
think. Yeah, you don't even think. People just move along with their day. You a robot. We humans. We
Yeah.
habitual creatures. You do the same thing over and over. You get used to doing it, and you kind of just are automated with those actions and with those thoughts. When you start to give yourself a little meditation or a little just time to yourself, however you want to count it and look at it, you're able to direct yourself a little better. Uh, and like I said, whatever you truly think about will come to you. it's planting seeds, bro. Everything grows differently. Something that you may want may take longer, so it might be a tree. Something might be a rose. Something might be a corn or a crop. But we always got to remember, negativity is like weeds. They come faster than any of that shit. So if you harp on that negativity, it's gonna spring up in your life instantly. That's how weeds grow. They grow fast. But when you want something real, it take a little bit more time, man. So you want a house or you want this and that. You might be planting a tree here. So you might have to take some time and watch it grow. But all those things need continual nurturing. You got to continuously be positive and thinking about those things in a great way. Keep it in the forefront of your mind so that it can blossom in the way that you want to. Uh, Fruit, like I said, trees and fruit, they're seasonal. They grow at certain times, but they need that nurturing at all times. Weeds just come. You gonna get that bullshit, y'all. That's all I gotta say about affirmations, man. I live my life by that stuff, though. To be
Yeah.
honest, just staying positive as much as I can,
Law of
bro.
attraction, man. What you think about the most or what you think about yourself, that's what your reality is going to become. If you're the type of person that's always a
Hmm.
poor me, that's just my luck type of person, then it's always going to be poor me, that's just my luck. Right?
It's always gonna be your luck.
But just to answer what the two guys are talking about in the comments, Glock 34, very smooth. Return to zero is amazing. You are absolutely right about that. A lot of guys that compete run Glock 34s. A good friend of mine, Patrick McClure, who I'm chasing, trying to be as good as. I shoot them as often as I can. I try to learn from him as often as I can. He shoots a Glock 34, and that thing barely fucking moves. It's just, the return to zero is amazing. The thing is flat shooting. He's he kills it with that thing. So Glock 34, you are absolutely right. Very smooth. It would be a great idea to put on your 17. And if you wanted to start shooting matches, Glock 34 is an awesome, awesome choice to get you started. You are going to be ahead of a lot of guys shooting shorter guns just in that regard because that Glock 34, the return to zero is money. Very predictable.
When I first was looking into all this stuff years ago, that was really on a lot of different people's pages when they were talking about those entry level platforms. That was really the number one on every page is get a Glock 34. Get a
You
Glock
see the
34. If you
perks.
want to not have to spend thousands, you need a Glock 34. Yep, he
Mm-hmm.
got on that good merch, man. You got to get you one, bro. You know where
You
the
have to
link is
this
at,
one.
man. I got the link in the description right now.
Funny thing about
You
this
got to get
shirt,
in the Shooters Club.
the
Go
funny thing
tell them
about
about
this
how you
shirt
got the material.
is because I had to tell John Wick 2.0, listen, bro, if you want me to wear one of your shirts, you got to get it printed on a next level blank tee. They make the tri blend, the poly cotton blend, or poly cotton rayon blend shirts that just fit great, look great, stay the same shape, soft feeling, form fitting. And he immediately looked into that, put it on the website, and now you can get this shirt in that blank tee, that material, and it will look great, feel great on you. This is a large, fits me great. And now, honestly, after ordering shirts from a couple guys in the 2A community and getting Gildan trash cotton shirts that fit like shit that I paid $35 plus shipping on, now I ask everybody if I'll buy your shirt. I'm happy to wear your shirt. I'm happy to represent. But what do you print it on? If you don't print it on one of these, I'm not buying it. So shout
Hey,
out to
hey,
John
look,
Wick 2.0 and the Warriors Garden for doing the right thing. And I wear the shirt all the time.
hey, hey, man, it's not a good. I appreciate that, and it's not a. You don't. Like I said, it's only criticism if you take it like that, fellas. It's a
Right. I'm
critique
trying to
that
put you
helps
on
you.
the game.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
giving you
critique
free
that helps
game.
you and mold you, and it gets you business. You heard what he
Yeah.
said to me. He said, change this and I'll buy this. How long you think it took me to change that? It didn't take no time. I didn't have to spend six
Same
days to
day.
change it. Yeah, I just
Same day.
changed it. I did what I needed to do to bring better quality, you know? So doubt you gotta remember with everything you do, man. Don't take everything as a stab at you. I mean, if it happens a lot of times, you know if it's a stab, but a lot of us as men, we get uh off track when somebody tell us one thing. We don't know how to grow. That's what I said. Like with affirmations, you want to be the same person. You're gonna be the same person. I want to
Yeah.
be
You're not going to take no
I want to be
criticism.
successful. I am successful, so I want
Yeah.
to continue to take advice from people that I feel that are successful. who have great knowledge. I'm not going to depend only on the knowledge that I've had for this 36 years that I'm here, because the knowledge that I have has me where I'm at. And I'm in a great position. But if I want to progress, I got to get other people, I got to soak in other knowledge, you know?
100%, man. You can learn something from everybody. And if you can't, if you
Exactly.
think you know it all, if you think you're the smartest guy in the room, you're probably the dumbest guy in the room.
Probably the
Or if
dumbest,
you
man.
are the if you are the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You need to move up. You need to move up. You need to be the dumbest. You need to go ahead and move up.
Yep,
Exactly.
that's how I feel at USPSA, bro. That's why I love going there. I'm trash. I don't know shit, and I love it, bro, because I soak it all in from everybody there.
Hell yeah. You know what, guys, man? Like I said, I wanted to wrap this up in this hour. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I need y'all to go check out JP at Target Acquired. I'm
Target
going
acquired
to
TV.
I'm gonna alter Target Acquired TV. I'm gonna alter the description here in a little bit when I get off. I'm gonna make a thumbnail for the video, but I'm gonna alter the description. I'm gonna put his page on there as well. We're gonna do this again, man, and probably do it from his end so that he can get all the credit from it at that point in time. But we're gonna go
Don't
back. We
matter.
can go back and forth. We can go
You
back
got
and
more
forth, man.
followers. You got about 100,000 more subscribers than I. Over 100,000 more. You got 100,000 times the subscribers I have. So we can do it from
Hey,
your end.
man. Hey, you'll get them soon, man. Everybody who I've been on this YouTube space with, from PJ, uh I think Matty Militia's doing a little bit. He's doing pretty good, but Mally, everybody though, everybody has grown significantly. Armed and Black, Gamage, Dalton has grown pretty good. It just you got to just it's with everything. Stay persistent. When you start seeing a slump or a downfall in your content or in your following or just what people are watching, that don't mean slow down, man. I mean keep going. Because you just showing the universe that you really want this. If you keep going, you're gonna get what you want from it. If you stop, that's just you playing into it. You playing into it and you really didn't want it, and it's like, all right,
Exactly.
I'm glad I didn't give you a million subs because you
Exactly.
didn't really want to do what it
You
took to get here,
you
man.
didn't really want it. You didn't want it
Mm,
bad enough.
not at
Funny,
all.
Mile High MVP said you have 135,000 subscribers. That's 135,000 more than I have.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, like I said, you'll get there, man. Period, point
Yeah, no,
blank.
no, I'm not jealous or hating at all. It's just
You're getting. I already know, man. Like I said, when I look at your videos, you're getting uh literally you're getting around the same views or even more than me on some content. You got the platforms to talk about that people new ones that people are interested in. That's what this YouTube game. You either have to too much, but you have enough things that are hot and new, man. That especially with this 2011, we've been in this 2011 thing for a little bit. I ain't gonna say forever, but for the past 6 months, ever since every other company has been making this type of stuff, it's been crazy hot. Everybody want to live free or just something. They want to get something, a gear sign. They want to just get in the game any way they can. So this type of platform is very hot, and so it's gonna always draw attention in when you can talk about the platypus. Really, the platypus. People love the platypus on here, just because it
platypus,
takes those Glock mags and things.
the
Uh,
platypus and the Mac
Staccato,
9, man. Those have been my biggest videos with the platypus and the Mac 9. So
because
it shows you there's a
go
bigger
ahead.
market for the less expensive 2011. That's what people
Uh
are looking for.
huh.
Not everybody's looking for a staccato. People want a cheaper
Ain't
option.
nobody looking for it except if you really there. Like we looking for it because we
But
here, we there,
the
we've been
people that are
here.
looking for it don't
But
need to watch my videos.
yeah, and the people that's looking for these things, like you said, they want something compatible with what they got. So even though the platypus is still, it's not as low as a Mac 9 or anything like that, but it's like
No,
I can run my Glock mags, I can run
yeah.
extended mags, I can run this and that. So they're gunning for that. And
And depending on how you build it out, I mean, they start at 14, 1500. So Prodigy
yeah,
price,
I ain't
all
leaving it
that.
there. Though.
No, yeah, yeah, no, no. I need that
Yeah,
full
yeah,
double
yeah.
cover. I need ambi safeties. I need a 2.5 pound
Uh-huh.
Nah, I need some features on mine.
I need the works. I need the works.
But
Well, guys,
I'll tell
man,
you what, mine doesn't
go
have the
ahead. Go ahead,
bull
Jeffrey.
barrel. You skip on that bull barrel, get the bushing barrel. That's going to save you a couple hundred. And mine's been phenomenal with the bushing barrel. So every other gun I have has a bull barrel for the most part. I do love a bull barrel, but it's not necessarily a necessity. You could save yourself a couple hundred, keep it around that 1,700 or so mark without the bull barrel, and be fine.
I kept showing you. We gonna get out of here, guys. I kept showing you them funky ones that I painted up. My
Yeah,
fear with that is like I might just have to get a black one and then let somebody else paint it up because it's something with they paints, man. I don't like they Cerakotes. They look kind of dull. They don't look what
I've
they
seen
look like. You're gonna get a dull
I've
Cerakote.
seen a couple lately that look really good. I think people are starting to figure out what the good colors are and what the
Right,
other colors
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So
All these pastels and stuff.
I got a new color combo in mind that, man, I want it in the worst way, but I ain't got the money for that right now, or the fucking time to wait 6 months. But
That's the thing too, man. I don't want to wait 6 months. I'm kind of wondering what this
Jackal
hey,
308
next time you
looks
could be a
fire.
moderator, bro. We finna get out of here, bro. You said what?
Jackal 308 looks fire, Mile High for sure.
It does look fire, bro. It
I
does
got
look
a
fire.
Jackal 556 and I love it. Love it.
I'm gonna see if I could talk to PSA and see if they can give me a kiss on that. Give me a little
Right?
kiss, and
I
I can
need to
try to
talk to
see what
Stealth
I can
Arms.
do.
I need another platypus.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Freaking
need to tell Stealth Arms, bro. I'm the only motherfucker out here shooting a platypus in USPSA. Hook me up.
yeah. Let them know, man. That look, I told you before. I said that's the reason why I didn't. I was like, should I get a platypus? I did it all up. I was like, man, I'm not trying to wait 6 months. By six
Yeah.
months time, I'm not saying a platypus will go out of like I wouldn't want it no more, but I'm like, it's just like
Right.
with the staccato.
You
I'm
could
like, 6 months is a long time. Something else could come out, and I might want to throw my money in that.
Something could happen to you in that time. That's what I think about with wait times like that. Like, bro, anything could happen in that time. I could die before that
Mhm.
time comes. Now
And
you
y'all got
wasted
my
that.
money. Y'all got my money. Y'all keep my gun and
Right.
stuff
I'll
too,
die
huh?
with that money before I send it out for nothing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, shoot, y'all, man. We could talk forever, man. We're gonna keep going. We could keep going forever. So we're gonna do this. Let's see if we could do this, man, once every couple weeks, man. Get on here with JP.
Yeah.
Get on here with whoever want to get on here, man. I got some good, interesting conversation for the two-way community, bro.
I'll
Uh,
tell you what. A couple buddies that you and I are in a group with are wanting to start a podcast. Right now, it's three of us, but you and I have conversations like it's nothing. We go on forever. So if you're interested in that, we could try to get a little foursome going and do it like every week or something.
We could do that for sure. We'll have to do with this particular setup. It only could be one at a time, but
Yeah, yeah,
we could do StreamYard. That's nothing. That's free too, and that'll allow like eight. I think 8 people can get on StreamYard, and I think you'll be able to do it from your computer too. You don't got to just be stuck on the phone doing that. So
right on.
it'll give you a better opportunity to make it, to do it how you want to do it as well. So uh, there it is, guys, man. I appreciate you guys for showing up and coming out. Hey, go check out Target Acquired TV. Check out John Wick 2.0 on all platforms. Check out Target Acquired
Check,
on all platforms as well, man.
check out Mile High MVP because he's been with us the whole time. He's part of the show.
Check him
We
out, man.
appreciate
He'll
you,
do
Mile
a
High.
wrap for you. He'll wrap your car up. Oh yeah, another thing. What else? He'll do armed security in Denver too. He'll ride you in a black truck, armed, man. He'll protect you from the V. You don't got to worry
Yep.
about the V. He'll ride you around if you're in Denver. Ain't that right, or I got it wrong? You don't do that no more, Mile High? You done with that or what?
He
Go
does.
ahead and tell us if you do it or not before we leave, bro. You got 20 seconds. I'm gonna
He
get out
does.
of
I
here.
seen him just posted on his story recently.
All right. All right, man. We out of here, Warriors, man. Y'all stay tuned to the next time, man. Show love to both of our pages, man. Share this around, man. We got a few in here on the live, but I'm gonna make this a video. So get a nice little thumbnail. It's gonna show us some love. We appreciate you guys for showing up, man. I am out.
Yes, sir.